The saltwater bloom.
The call came late, a crackling voice on the old landline, the kind that smelled faintly of dust and regret. They needed me at Blackwood Funeral Home. Not for a death, not exactly, more like a containment. Ione, the voice had said, sounded strained, almost breathless. Worked at Blackwood for 5 years, mostly inventory and maintenance, but Ione always had a way of making even the most mundane tasks feel weighty. This felt different. The air in the car grew thick with the scent of stagnant water and something else, something metallic and faintly sweet, like overripe fruit left too long in the sun. I'd forgotten how far the funeral home was from the city, swallowed by the sprawling marshland. It felt like driving into a forgotten corner of the world. Blackwood was a Gothic monstrosity of weathered stone and shadowed windows, perched precariously on stilts above the water. The porch sagged, and the paint peeled like sunburnt skin. Ione met me at the door, her face pale and drawn, her eyes wide with a fear I'd never seen before. She didn't offer a greeting, just ushered me inside with a trembling hand. The interior was colder than it should have been, the air heavy with the scent of formaldehyde and damp earth. Dust motes danced in the slivers of light that pierced the grimy windows. "It's in the basement," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the drone of unseen insects. "They've awakened something." I didn't understand what she meant, but the urgency in her voice sent a shiver down my spine. The basement door was heavy, iron-bound and scarred, and it smelled strongly of brine. The basement was a labyrinth of damp concrete and rusting pipes. The air was thick and cloying, saturated with the smell of decay and something indescribably alien. Flickering fluorescent lights cast long, distorted shadows, making it difficult to see. Ione led me deeper into the darkness, her hand clammy in mine. We reached a small, windowless chamber at the far end. In the center of the room, bathed in the sickly green glow of a single bare bulb, was a circular altar constructed from driftwood and bone. Around it, symbols were etched into the floor, symbols I didn't recognize, yet felt instinctively wrong. And then I saw it, a pulsating mass of iridescent gelatinous material clinging to the walls and ceiling like a grotesque bloom. It shifted and writhed, emitting a low, guttural hum. Ione gasped, a strangled sound of terror. "The saltwater bloom," she choked out. "They trying to communicate." Ione explained in fragmented sentences about the cult, the keepers of the tide, who had been operating in the area for decades, drawing power from the marshland's strange energies. They believed the bloom was a conduit to something ancient, something beyond human comprehension. They performed rituals, sacrifices, all to appease it. She'd been a member once, drawn in by promises of enlightenment, but she'd left years ago, horrified by their increasingly bizarre practices. "They were trying to open a gate," she said, her voice trembling. "A gate to somewhere else." The bloom pulsed faster, the humming intensifying. The air grew colder, and I felt a pressure building in my head, a sense of being watched, of being studied. Ione started muttering prayers, ancient words I didn't understand, her eyes darting nervously around the room. The symbols on the floor seemed to glow with an inner light. Suddenly, the bloom began to expand, its iridescent tendrils reaching out towards us. Ione screamed, pushing me behind a stack of decaying crates. The tendrils brushed against the wood, leaving a shimmering residue. The humming escalated into a deafening roar, and the lights flickered violently, threatening to plunge us into darkness. I saw something move within the bloom, a fleeting glimpse of something vast and amorphous, something with too many eyes and too many limbs. It was gone as quickly as it appeared, but the image was seared into my mind. Ione collapsed to her knees, sobbing. "It's here," she whispered. It's coming through. I tried to pull her up, but she resisted, her gaze fixed on the pulsating mass. Don't he look at it, I said, my voice strained. Don't he let it in. But it was too late. The bloom was spreading, engulfing the chamber, its tendrils reaching for us, for everything. The smell of brine intensified, overwhelming everything else. I felt a coldness spreading through my body, a sense of being dissolved. The last thing I saw was Ionia's face, contorted in a rictus of terror, her eyes wide with a knowledge that no human should possess. Then, darkness. The landline sits silent now, gathering dust. Ione is gone, vanished without a trace. Blackwood Funeral Home is boarded up, the marsh reclaiming it slowly. The authorities dismissed it as a mental breakdown, a tragic accident. But I know what I saw. I know what happened in that basement. The bloom is still there. I'm sure of it, pulsing and growing, waiting. And sometimes, when the wind blows just right, I can still hear the humming, a low, guttural sound that vibrates in my bones. I try to forget, to bury it deep, but the image of that iridescent bloom, the feeling of being watched, never leaves me. I see it in the reflections of water, in the shadows of trees, in the corners of my eyes. It's always there, just at the edge of perception, a constant reminder of the darkness that lies beneath the surface, waiting to consume us all. The marsh remembers, and the bloom is always blooming.